Okay, first things first, what I want to do is actually go over my initial marketing funnel that I have my telemarketer working with, okay? I call it the CMC funnel, and CMC stands for call, mail, call. And this was an approach I learned back in when I was doing insurance back in the 90s. Basically, we're just calling up to get your permission to send you some information and then doing a follow-up call after. So that's the premise of our funnel. I like it. I don't have to train someone to do some real hard telemarketing. And so finding someone in the Philippines to make this call is pretty easy for the most part. And when you find the right person, they can really crank out the leads for you, okay? It's better than any scraper that you're ever going to get to find email addresses. So let me run through this funnel so you can see exactly how it works. Okay, the first thing with the first call is that I use a piece of software, and again, I'll be making you a special offer on my virtual call here at the end of the call or at the end of this presentation. So everything is set up with my virtual caller for her to manages all her records, all leads, everything she has to do is within her calls dashboard. I build all my calling lists. I built in list builder inside of my virtual call in the admin section. I'll share that with you. Basically, we hook up with the Google Maps API to build our list. And then all calls are made through Skype. And Skype, you can make unlimited calls into the United States for $3 a month, okay? It doesn't get any cheaper than that. The caller's dashboard has really like a mini CRM. So it's a preview dialer. It's one click to dial. So it saves you. She definitely hits her numbers every day, day in and day out. She works for me 3 hours a day with a 15-minute break. So her call time is roughly about 2 hours and 45 minutes a day. And we're going to look at her call reports here in a few minutes. So what is the goal of the first call? Well, the first goal is really to verify and gather information. The primary thing we're trying to get is an email address and a decision maker's name to put into the database, because we pretty much have everything else from the list. Okay, we have their mailing address, we have their website. The only thing we need is to get an email address and a decision maker's name. I want them to email something of value. Now, what I'm doing is a free analysis, okay? And I'm going to share with you the analysis I've been doing over the last 75 to 80 days and what we're going to be doing going forward here as we just started a new campaign 2 days ago, and I'll go over what we did there. You could send a white paper or a free report. It works just as well. So if you have a good report that you want to send to somebody, you can do that. I like using here you have a problem approach. It helps really get that email address, and we want to send you some information. So I like the free analysis a lot. You could do a free trial or a $1 trial if you want, or you can invite them to an online session or a webinar. Okay, this is something we plan on heavily using in 2016. I'm not quite sure whether or not it will be in this part of our funnel. I think it's going to be in our passive funnel. I plan on doing between 6 and 8 evergreen webinars that we'll send out on different things to help businesses grow and educate them and build my credibility in the eyes of them. All right, so what happens is once we get that email address, she clicks one button and they're immediately added to a MailChimp campaign where we send out the first email with a link to the analysis. The next day we send out another email, and then the third day or 2 days out we send out another email. Sometimes the campaign that we were doing, we actually had 4 emails that went out. Day 1, day 2, day 3, and then day 5. And then I had her schedule for me a call back, all right? Again, using my virtual caller and using a Skype account. 99% of the time, though, you're not getting in touch with the decision maker. You're getting a no. And let's face it, there's a lot of competition out there. So you have to be prepared to have a passive funnel to build your name, okay? And things I do are bi-weekly emails. I send out special reports. I send out links. Like I just sent out a link to let people run their mobile website through Google's mobile checker. All right. Do live calls every 60 days. I schedule a callback. I do direct mail. I'll go through and look for my best leads that I want to touch and put something physical in their hands. And very soon I'll be doing voicemail broadcasting, and I'll be sharing with you, a new piece of software that you're going to be able to get your hands on with this special offer that I'll be making. So this is my funnel. What I want to do now is show you the analysis that I've been sending out for the last 75 to 80 days, and my telemarketer has been doing all of the work, okay? So email 1, email 2, and email 3 is what we've been sending out right here. And our system has what's called the MAR system, Mobile Audit Report, and this is what gets produced from the lead. And I'll show you in our list builder how we're able to actually find the businesses that actually need a mobile website. And by the way, if you do pick me up on the software, you will be one of 25 people that will actually have this system, because we do not make it available on our software as a service platform. It's no way I wanted not too many people having this. But as you can see, this is what we send them. We take a snapshot. How we're doing this scoring, by the way, is we tap into another Google API called SpeedPage. And this is like 90 to 95% accurate. Occasionally there's a website that's been mobile optimized that it doesn't pick up, but for the most part, it is absolutely mobile optimized. You'll find the websites that need, or the businesses that actually need a mobile website. And it gets into, why should you care? And I really touch upon Google is heavily favoring websites now. What's happening here in regards to desktop search and mobile search, and then smartphone adoption, and then finally I get into what actions they're taking, and then I get into their options. This campaign also had a 4th email that went out, and we did a mobile competitor analysis. And again, this all gets generated within my virtual caller in the MAR system. So when I call this doctor up, I can say 72% of your competitors have taken the necessary steps to get a mobile-friendly website. And we email this to them. It shows who's mobile optimized. Like if I clicked on this one right here, we'll get a pop-up. What's doing right now is it's a live run through SpeedPage, and it goes and gets the image live on the fly for them. So it's very, very powerful. If you want to go after mobile in a market, you're definitely going to want to use the MAR system. But we're switching gears. 2 days ago, I picked up Jeff Hershey's new program, and now we're doing the local score, because I really want to focus my business on getting as many, my idea of a business is having 200 to 300 local businesses that are paying me $250 to $350 a month in reoccurring revenue, and not really even think about it. And I really like reputation for that, and I also like digital advertisement for that. So that's really where I'm taking my business in 2016. I just focused on mobile because we actually have our own mobile CMS, but what we're finding is close to 70%, 80% of the market already have mobile websites. So that marketplace is starting to fall away, and basically the late adopters are probably people what we've found is that you really have to bang on them to spend even $200 or $300, and that's really not worth the energy. So how many leads have we generated with this initial funnel? Well, let me share with you my MailChimp account, okay? My virtual caller integrates with MailChimp, and only MailChimp, by the way. If you wanted to integrate with another email provider, we can do some custom programming for you. We can, probably 4 or 5 hours of programming with the API. We can get that done and integrated for you. But for the most part, MailChimp works perfect for what we're doing. This is the SEM chiropractors. We're targeting chiropractors right now, and in 2 days or a little less than probably about 5 hours or 5.5 hours of calling, we put 45 subscribers into our funnel. We went after dentists, and again, we put 560. Actually, we had close to 600. We had about 40 opt-outs here. So, and then for chiropractors, 364 on this list, and chiropractors on this list, 128. Okay. I'm very happy with these results. I'm looking to really take it and scale. This is just with one part-time telemarketer, okay? She works 15 hours a week for me. She does, 13 and a half hours worth of calling after when you take out her breaks. I couldn't be happier. It did take me some time, though, to find her. And so I'll be sharing with you exactly who I'm looking for now, because I'm looking to actually scale my business with a team of virtual telemarketers doing 3 hours of telemarketing a day for me, 15 to 20 hours a week. and I'll share with you exactly how I pay them. And you don't have to pay, you want to pay them well, but you don't have to pay them an absorbent amount of money. And this approach is very easy to teach to a Filipino, okay? Very easy, versus someone to get them to do appointment setting is somewhat difficult. Maybe down the road, I'll probably take one of my telemarketers to be that person who gets all the leads and does the second follow-up call and tries to get them booked into my calendar, okay? But for the currently where I'm at in 2015, this one girl is just doing the front end and building out the list and getting that, and I'm dealing with all the warm leads that kind of call back or email me back, and then I am picking up the phone and trying to get them to schedule a 15-minute brief meeting with me. So let me share with you her call stats. Each day I take a snapshot out of my virtual caller, and I put it into this Google Doc I have over here, which is just a slide, Google Slides. And so here's the 12th. Today she actually did 18. She mismarked one of these leads. But these are the type of call stats you can see that she did 163 minutes worth of dialing. Her average dial time was 1.3 minutes. 1.6 minutes. So it's a little bit more than a minute and a half on our calls. She did 100 dials. Okay, I mean, finding the right person who's just going to day in and day out just do the job. These are not bad numbers, okay, when it comes to telemarketing. Her contact ratio was roughly about 50%, and her interest ratio today was only about 37%. Let me show you yesterday's stats. This was the first day that we were doing on the local scan report. 94 calls. We had she had more time on the phone. We did some training, so she only did a little over two hours of calling here. 45 contacts, 23 that we sent out. Again, here are her ratios: contact to dial ratios, interest to contact ratios. This particular girl has been with me since August 13th was her first day, and this is actually what she did for me the first day of calling. And I was quite happy with her. We did about an hour worth of training the day before, and she picked up and just ran with it, and I was quite happy. So those are call reports. Now let me show you the system of my virtual caller. All right. First place I want to start with is I want to start in the admin, just to do a really quick overview of it. This video is kind of getting kind of long already. So just bear with me, because I do want to share with you some of the power here of this system. All right, so here we are in this system. So here's where the campaigns are. You build your campaigns, you have your assets, you need to have your callers, you need to have at least your documents, and then you can add voicemails and postcards to it, and then of course your list here, okay? So here where the callers are, you can add your callers. Again, we're going to be giving you a copy to put on your own server, so it's a one-time purchase, and so you'll be able to have unlimited callers with the copy that you're going to have, okay? If you take us up on your offer, we'll even install this on your server. As long as you have a cPanel, we can quickly get in there and get this set up for you pretty quickly. Your documents is where you're going to have your scripts or any other document you want to give here. You can make it available as a link. Voicemail drops. These are the 2 voicemail drops I have for her. And let me open up this so you can see what it kind of looks like. So as you can see, I have 2 voicemails in here. And this is kind of like what's going to be for the new piece of software we're developing to do voicemail drops, is that you'll be able to have a drop voicemail, and you'll also have to have a live voicemail, okay? This one is just sorry, wrong number. If you leave it blank, it just hangs up. So once I have that in here, it makes it available, and then I can assign that when I'm building the campaign for her. So when she clicks on the voicemail drop button, she can click on that and send it. Now, the only time I have her doing this is after she's made 2 attempts to try to get that person on the phone, and we're going to voicemail all the time. So I'll have her literally just send a voicemail, mark it as a voicemail, and then get the record out of queue. Postcards. I really haven't done much with this lately, just because of the sheer cost, and I'm trying to keep my costs down right now. But we have integrated with postcard services, so if you want to do a call, an email, and a postcard all at the same time, you can have your telemarketer execute your postcard all at the same time. So think about this. She sends an email, gets them on an email campaign. If she has to, she can drop a voicemail if she has to, and then she can, with one click of a button, add them to a postcard campaign and 1-2 whammy and then schedule a call. That's pretty powerful. Okay, I don't know of any system that has postcards integrated into it. Here's where you can build your list and you can do list management stuff. Okay, import a list, or you can use our list builder. This is where I built all my list. Give it a name or select an existing list if you want to add it. Let me just share with you how I break down my list. I make real big calling list right here, and I break them down by time zones. I've put together a series of spreadsheets that have all the keywords for all the towns, and I know how big their population is. I literally just copy and paste them in here, and then what I do is that I run my reports. Based on how many, what the population is, will tell me how many records I need to pull. You can pull 1 through 4 of 20. Okay, so if I'm dealing in a large metro market and that has a large population, I'll run it this way. So that's basically pulling in 80 leads. When we were doing mobile, what we do is I would leave this just the way it is, pull it in. I make sure they have a website and a telephone number, of course, and then we run them through the MAR leads. And basically what we do is we take all the leads in here once they've been completely deduped, and we scan them to see whether or not they're mobile optimized. And ones that are mobile optimized are then deleted from the system and giving you a really nice list of leads that can be imported into the system, that people who could use a mobile website. So that's the MAR system. And again, if you take me on the offer, which we're only going to be making this available, by the way, the offer to 25 people, you will have this MAR system. If you were to get my virtual caller as a software as a service, this whole system is not installed. The reports or getting the leads, figuring out what the leads are. So this is the built-in list builder. I love it. Currently, what I'm doing is I'm just setting this to this number. And so we look at the star rating associated with their Google profile. Anything of 2.5 or lower is going into my call campaign. So when we send out the report and they run the report, they typically get a very bad report from the system, showing a lot of problems. Okay, mass move. So every day after she's done her calling, what I do is I come in here, I just say, move the records over to me. I have her setting a status, a custom status. By the way, you can set any custom status you want in the settings, along with some other stuff. And so the new status that she's setting for me is right here, SLR send. I'll click on that, and then I'll hit move records. And I've already moved the records over today, but tomorrow there'll be like 13, 14, 20 records that get moved into my my database, and I start working with them. So this is the admin, and now let me share with you the caller's dashboard. So let me log out. Caller's dashboard. This is where she works. As you can notice, it already opens up in a pop-up, and the reason why we did this is so you could have screen real estate, okay? They can have this over to one side, they can have their call script over to the other side, and setting up tabs. Pretty straightforward, real progressive dialing. When you click on any of these statuses, or you set a callback or anything like that, it automatically moves them to the next record. So it's just automatically, they click the make the call button, it launches Skype, and they're on to the next call. That's how she's been able to get to the call volume that she's doing for the time she's calling. I mean, I've showed you the record. She on average makes 100 calls for me a day. All right, that's pretty impressive. With high connection rates, talking to people, getting email addresses. This is just as good as any dialer out there, okay? You can set custom stages in here. It's one of the things she does. This is where her scripts are. You have all this data. Here is the links that are generated. So when you click on this button, it will generate these 2 links. If you want to review the MAR report, it's here. If you want to view the analysis or the competitive analysis, that's here. You can send MSS out to. You can open up the email client. You can fire off an email. I do this a lot. I use another program called Yesware. It's actually not Yesware. I've actually moved to Banana Tag. But the same concept. It tracks opens and it tracks clicks. And so when I send an email out on a one-on-one basis, I can see who's opening those emails, and I'll come back in here and mark them and schedule for another follow-up call. You can add notes, all right here. You can add a note in here. It's a real nice mini CRM, I like to call it. It's not as robust as Pipedrive, speaking which. If you want to move the record once it's escalated to a proposal or something, you can push this button and it takes all the data and moves it over to Pipedrive, okay? Pretty cool if you ask me. So this is the caller's dashboard. Close this. I think there's one more thing I want to talk to you. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you her call script. I just want to show you how simple this approach is, okay? Hi, my name is Adele. I was wondering if you could help me out. And she pauses and she waits, and she's really good. As I said, my name is Adele. I'm with the local biz builder, and the reason for my call today is we just did an audit of your practice online presence and found some major issues with it, and we would like to email you our report directly to the person who's in charge of making decisions about the practice's online reputation and visibility. Would that be the doctor or someone else in the office? And they'll say either the doctor or the manager, or if they say, well, what's this about? She has a little bit here, and she goes after the email address. And again, when we went back to the stats, you saw that 30-40% of the time of our connects were getting an email address. This is a very powerful way to build an email list, okay? Better than any scraper, okay? Because I guarantee you the email addresses you're getting there are not that great. They've been over-abused from all the scrapers. This is the cleanest and best way to get email address to do email marketing. All right, so we're getting on to about, well over 20 minutes here onto this presentation. There's one more thing I want to talk to you about before we get in and talk about the special offer, okay? And that is we're creating another piece of software called Dial Ninja, which is a great complement to My Virtual Caller. What Dial Ninja does, it does voicemail broadcasting. So you'll be able to build a list, same way with the online list builder. It's inside of My Virtual Caller. The exact same way, or import a list. You'll use the same voicemail management that I showed you inside of My Virtual Caller, and then you'll build your campaigns, which then you can basically launch immediately, or you can schedule them, okay? And again, it's that 1-2 punch that I'm very interested in, and that the 1-2 punch is that one, I do a broadcast email, and at the same time, I'm doing voicemail broadcast. What I'll say to you is that the system, let me drag over a screenshot of what the system's going to look like. As you can see, it looks real close to My Virtual Caller's admin section. So you build your list, you build your voicemails, you create your campaigns, and you launch your campaign either immediately or you schedule it. Now, we're going to be integrating with 2 APIs, okay? The Twilio API will be the first API that we're going to integrate, and then shortly thereafter, we're going to integrate with another API called Slide Dial. So what is Slide Dial? Slide Dial is this new technology, especially if you plan on calling mobile telephone numbers. As you know, the regulation around calling mobile is really stringent. Even if you're calling businesses, you can get whacked pretty hard with some penalties. With the Slide Dial technology, it literally never dials a number. It literally slides into their voicemail servers. You can only use this approach when it's either some type of VoIP service like Vonage or Ring Central or even Verizon. If they have a Verizon number, I mean that's a VoIP service now. A lot of the major telephone companies are moving over to VoIP, so you may be able to literally use this whole thing on most of your numbers. It's going to be a little bit more expensive than using the Twilio. Twilio is like 1.5 cents a minute. This is going to be more like 4 or 5 cents a minute, 4 or 5 cents per voicemail delivered. But it never rings the phone, and it keeps you in complete compliance when it comes to dialing mobile and dialing VoIP. Okay, so we're at just about 25 minutes over this presentation. I've shared with you my entire business, what I've done, where I'm going, and now I'd like to talk to you about a real special offer, okay? So just below now, you should see a button. Click on that. That's going to take you over to me being back on camera and talking about the deal I'm going to put together for you and what I'd like to do for you. So I'll see you in the next video.